The doctor's words from my previous life still echoed in my ears, a cold, clinical sentence declaring that I couldn't have children. After we were married, Vincent had been the perfect husband, doting on me constantly. He never once brought up the painful subject of our childlessness, and I, in my naivety, was grateful. That gratitude turned to ash at the thank you banquet celebrating his successful inheritance of my family's entire company. In front of everyone, he publicly announced that his son, with his first love, was already a young man of 22. It turned out that all those years, the excuses of being busy at work, the late nights, the nights he didn't come home at all, he had been with her, with their son. He had used my family's money, the wealth of the Calloway family, to fund his son's education, to buy him a house and a car. All the while, I was consumed with guilt, blaming myself for being unable to continue the line of his family. The shock and rage were so immense that I vomited blood right there at the banquet. Lying on a hospital bed, my life fading, Vincent came to my side before I pulled out my own oxygen tube. He told me the final cruel truth. He had bribed the doctor all those years ago. The medicine I took every day, which I believed was to regulate my body and improve my chances of conception, had been replaced with birth control pills from the very beginning. The air left my lungs, and with that last gasp of betrayal, I died. My mother was sleeping in a chair beside my bed, her head leaning against the mattress. I felt her stir, and her voice, laced with a familiar note of dissatisfaction, broke the silence. "Clara, are you really going through with registering for marriage with Vincent tomorrow? I just don't get it. Why do you and your father think so highly of him? I don't like him. I always feel like there's something going on between him and that Sylvia girl." I was stunned into silence for a long moment, my mind reeling. It wasn't until my mother gently took my hand that the reality crashed down on me. I had been reborn. Seeing my silence, my mother grumbled, "What, are you just too carried away by happiness to even answer me?" Tears welled in my eyes as I looked at her, truly looked at her. In my past life, I had grown so tired of her constant nagging about Vincent that I had pushed her away. I rarely spoke to her, and when she fell ill, I barely visited her in the hospital. The last time I saw her, just before she passed away, she had told me, "Silly girl, Vincent is a smart boy, willing to learn and work hard, but he is absolutely not a good man." At the time, seeing how frail she was, I didn't argue. I just replied softly, "Mom, I know." A gentle smile had graced her lips then. "Then I can rest assured," she'd said, and she passed away peacefully that night. It was only when I saw the final examination report that I found the truth. My mother had died of poisoning. I confronted the doctor, who confirmed my fears. "Your mother was likely taking a chronic poison for at least 5 years." I sat up abruptly in bed, tears streaming down my face as I stared at my mother, alive and well beside me. "Mom," I choked out, "I'll listen to you. I won't marry Vincent." The doctor's words echoed in my mind, and my pupils dilated in horror. The year my mother had died, I had been married to Vincent for exactly 5 years. That meant he started poisoning my mother the moment we were married. When my father died, the doctor had also mentioned poisoning, but the company was in turmoil, and I was too overwhelmed to think deeply about it. My only thought back then was how to help Vincent take over our family's vast business empire. My mother gently wiped my tears away with a handkerchief. "Silly child, you're only 19. Your father is doing so well in the South. Once you're settled, we'll all move to the city together. There's no need to worry about finding a good man." Yes, my father's business was flourishing. He was just waiting for me to marry Vincent before moving the whole family to the city. Vincent was an elementary school teacher, a man who seemed gentle and refined. My father, who only had a primary school education and had built his fortune during the economic reforms, deeply respected educated people and had taken an immediate liking to him. I managed a watery smile. "I'll do whatever you say, Mom." Hearing that I wouldn't marry Vincent, my mother's face lit up with genuine happiness. "Clara, you sleep in a little longer. I'll get up and make you breakfast. Later, I'll kill that old hen in the yard. We'll have chicken soup for lunch. We're moving to the city soon anyway, so we might as well eat the chickens now." I smiled, a real, happy smile this time. Okay, I'll get up and help you catch it. All right, let's catch it together. My mother was already putting on her clothes as she spoke. I quickly dressed and got out of bed, helping her start the fire while she bustled about preparing the chicken. The kitchen was filled with a lively energy that felt as festive as the new year. Just as we were finishing breakfast, Vincent arrived. He was dressed in a crisp white t-shirt, black trousers, and shiny black leather shoes, a gift from my father, who had brought them from the South. He had a sunny disposition that, in my previous life, I had found utterly charming. Then, I would have rushed into his arms. Now, seeing him, I could only manage a faint, distant smile. "Why are you here?" I asked. Vincent was taken aback. "We agreed to go to the city today to register our marriage," he said, his tone patient. I scratched my head, pretending to be forgetful. "Oh, is that today? For the registration?" A hint of resentment crept into his voice. "Clara, how could you forget something so important? I'm going to be truly angry." I remained calm, slowly approaching him. "Vincent, if you get angry, does that mean you won't marry me?" He dropped the act, his eyes staring at me fiercely. "Yes. If I'm angry, I won't marry you." I immediately ran to my mother, my voice trembling with feigned tears. "Mom, Vincent is angry and he says he doesn't want to marry me." My mother hugged me protectively, her gaze shifting from me to Vincent, a puzzled expression on her face. She knew something was strange about me today. "If you don't want to get married, then don't. Mom will help you find a better man later." Vincent grew anxious and rushed over, trying to persuade me. "Auntie Clara, I was just joking with you. I love Clara more than anything. The whole township knows that. Besides, all the villagers are expecting us to register our marriage today." My mother glanced at him coolly. "Can't you see that Clara isn't happy today? Let's talk about this in a few days. You should go back for now. I'll talk to her." Although my mother was a woman from the countryside with little formal education, she was sharp and reasonable. She knew how to handle things with a clear mind and a firm hand. She had my father completely wrapped around her finger. Even after he became a wealthy boss, he never looked at another woman. Disappointment and a flash of resentment crossed Vincent's face. "Okay, Auntie, please persuade Clara. I'll come back to find her this evening." My mother nodded. "Go on, then." As soon as Vincent left, my mother looked at me with worry. "Clara, are you doing this because of what I said? Are you angry with me?" I looked her straight in the eye. "No, Mom. Sylvia's pregnant and the child is Vincent's. I'm not foolish enough to marry a man who doesn't love me." My mother's face contorted with fury. "That bastard! I knew he wasn't devoted to you, but I didn't expect they'd already gone this far. I'm calling your father right now. Let him come back and see for himself what kind of good son-in-law he's been praising." I quickly stopped her. "Mom, you have to listen to me on this. Even though Sylvia's pregnant, how can we prove the child is Vincent's? Until we have concrete evidence, Dad won't believe us. He'll just say you're slandering Vincent." My mother considered my words and nodded. "You're right, Clara. Your father is a good man in many ways, but he's completely blind when it comes to choosing a son-in-law. We have to get proof that will convince him." "Okay," I agreed. Drawing on the memories of my previous life, I knew exactly where to go. I waited near the entrance of the hospital, and soon enough, I saw them. Sylvia was clinging to Vincent's arm, her face a mask of worry. "Vincent," she whispered, "what if I'm pregnant?" Vincent comforted her gently. "Don't be afraid. If you're pregnant, we'll have the baby." A tearful tone entered Sylvia's voice. "But everyone thinks I'm still a virgin. If the villagers find out, I'll be laughed at. I'll be ruined." Vincent's eyes darkened for a moment before he forced a smile. "We'll go to the city right away. We'll have the baby there. Who will know?" My stomach churned. So this was his plan all along. He was going to use my family's money to support her and their child while I remained the clueless, barren wife. "I'll listen to you," Sylvia said, her voice small. I followed them from a distance until they finished at the clinic and left. She was indeed pregnant, 2 months along. I got home before them and told my mother everything. She looked heartbroken for me, trying to comfort me. "We'll leave for the South tomorrow. We won't even wait for your father." I smiled. feeling a strength I hadn't possessed in my first life. Mom, I don't love Vincent anymore. After I settle things with them, we'll go to the city. They bullied me like this, and I have no intention of letting them get away with it so easily. My mother nodded, a look of fierce agreement in her eyes. Clara, tell me what you need to do to get your revenge. I will support you completely. A wave of relief washed over me. If only I had listened to her in my previous life, I wouldn't have died such a miserable death. Thank you, Mom. Before evening fell, Vincent came to our house again, holding a delicate hairpin. Clara, let me put this on for you. I angrily dodged his touch. Have you heard the rumors going around town? Vincent looked genuinely stunned. What rumors? I've been busy at home. I haven't heard anything. I feigned a burst of anger. The women in the village are all saying that Sylvia is pregnant with your child. Some people even said they saw you with her at the hospital this morning for an examination. Hearing this, Vincent began to panic. He immediately raised his hand as if to take an oath. I swear, my relationship with Sylvia is completely clean. If there is anything between us, I opened my eyes wide, waiting for him to finish. You'll what? Cornered, Vincent gritted his teeth. I'll stay in this countryside for the rest of my life, never able to enter the city. I'll be poor and miserable forever. I clapped my hands together, a bright, false smile on my face. Clap, clap. Oaths are always accurate. I believe you, Vincent. He looked a bit angry, turning his face away as if expecting me to coax him. Instead, I told him to leave. Go home now. I said I believe you. Vincent turned back, his expression one of utter confusion. Is that all? In the past, I would have immediately apologized and probably bought him a gift to soothe his fragile ego. I smiled sweetly. Believing you is the simplest part. Or did you think I was going to wait for Sylvia to give birth so we could do a blood test to prove paternity? A strained smile appeared on his face. There's no need for that. It's just, we were supposed to register today. Let's wait a few more days, I said coolly. After the rumors die down, then we can register. My father will be back next month anyway, and then we can all go to the city together. Seeing my determination, Vincent had no choice but to agree. The next day, as soon as I stepped out of the house, a neighbor stopped me. Clara, don't be silly. You need to examine Vincent carefully before you register. I saw Sylvia looking very close with him yesterday. Is the rumor true? Is she really pregnant with his child? I smiled and shook my head. Auntie, you must be mistaken. I'm about to register my marriage with Vincent. As for Sylvia's child, you said she's pregnant, but she's a virgin. How could she be pregnant? You must have heard wrong. The woman took my hand, her voice kind. Clara, don't be confused. There's no need to rush the registration. Just then, Sylvia herself came over with a smile. Clara, Auntie. I let my gaze drift to Sylvia's belly. Sylvia, you seem to have gained some weight. Your face and your belly look a little fuller. Sylvia was so startled she instinctively sucked in her stomach. I was always a bit chubby. I just look fatter when I wear summer clothes. My neighbor gave her a knowing look. You know, Sylvia's belly looks just like a woman's who has already given birth. Clara, look, your belly is different from hers. She reached out as if to touch Sylvia's stomach, but Sylvia quickly dodged. I still have something to do. I'm going back now. With that, she practically ran away. My neighbor turned back to me. Auntie has had 3 children. I'm telling you from my experience, Sylvia is definitely pregnant, at least 2 months along. She was right. The doctor had said it was just over 2 months. I believe you, Auntie, I said, nodding seriously. As I walked toward the east end of the village, I heard people gossiping. Now the rumor was that I had a lover on the side, and that's why I hadn't registered with Vincent. Some were even saying I was pregnant myself and didn't dare to go through with the marriage. I stopped and looked at the group of gossipy women. Among them were Sylvia's mother and her sister-in-law. You said I have a lover and that I'm pregnant, I said, my voice clear and steady. Do you have any evidence? Sylvia's mother was taken aback but quickly recovered her bluster. Since everyone is saying it, it must be true. I retorted directly, if I start spreading a rumor that your eldest son was actually born from an affair you had with the old bachelor at the east end of the village, and that your Sylvia was born from an affair with the old bachelor at the West End. Would that also be true? Sylvia's mother jumped up, ready to attack me. Nonsense! I'll tear your mouth apart. What are you trying to do to my daughter? My mother stepped in front of me, but I gently pushed her aside. Mom, I'm fine. We were just joking. Sylvia's mother screeched, Who's joking with you? You're just a girl who talks nonsense. I'm not just a little girl, I said calmly. I've lived 2 lifetimes. Just then, another villager approached with a smirk. Look, these rumors are so detailed. One minute they say Sylvia is pregnant with Vincent's child, and the next they say Clara is pregnant with some other man's child. I don't know what's true or false. I smiled at the crowd. It's easy to tell what's true. We just need to find a doctor, and we'll know for sure. From the edge of the crowd, Sylvia came forward in a panic. I can prove it. Clara really does have a lover. The other day when I went to the back mountain, I saw her hugging a man. He was wearing a gray vest. Judging from his back, he was a young guy, thin and tall. Everyone in the crowd started looking around, trying to match her description. There were dozens of people gathered, all eager for a bit of drama. Finally, their eyes settled on one person. Adam. Adam was an orphan. His parents had died of illness when he was young, and his grandmother, who raised him, had passed away just last year. He was all alone. I remembered from my previous life that in the 2nd year after I moved to the city, he had also gone there. I'd heard he did very well for himself, even marrying the daughter of a prominent businessman. Adam stared straight at me at a loss for words. We usually just exchanged simple greetings when we saw each other. He knew I had been in love with Vincent for a long time. I walked straight up to him, a determined smile on my face, and took his hand. Adam, will you marry me? He stared at me, his eyes wide. It took him a long time to finally nod. Okay. A gasp went through the crowd. Vincent pushed his way through and separated us, looking at me with rage. You promised to marry me. Just because of one little conflict, you go and find a lover, and you're pregnant? I slapped him hard across the face. A lover? You tell me who the lover is. Adam and I are innocent. We're the same age and we're both unmarried. What's wrong with us getting married? Ignoring the stinging red mark on his cheek, Vincent grabbed my arm again, his voice becoming sickeningly affectionate. Clara, stop making trouble. Even if you're pregnant with this child, I'll still marry you. I promise to love you for a lifetime and I won't go back on my word. We'll get rid of the child in your belly and we'll live a good life together. Oh, Vincent is so nice, someone in the crowd murmured. Clara cheated on him so badly and he can still forgive her. What a good man. Everyone was suddenly feeling sorry for Vincent. I shook him off and shouted to the crowd, Where is Auntie Miracle? Auntie Miracle was the village's traditional Chinese doctor. Her treatments were cheap and effective, earning her the nickname. Auntie Miracle. I'm here, she called out, emerging from behind the crowd. I extended my arm. Please, help me check if I'm pregnant. Auntie Miracle felt my pulse, shaking her head. You're not pregnant, I shouted to the crowd. You all heard what Auntie Miracle said. A murmur went through the onlookers. Whoever spread such a nasty rumor is really mean, saying she's pregnant. I ignored their chatter and rushed over to Sylvia, grabbing her arm. Auntie Miracle, please help check her too. Seeing this, Vincent lunged forward, trying to pull my hand away and stop the doctor. But Auntie Miracle was clever. While Vincent grabbed her right hand, she deftly placed her left hand on Sylvia's wrist to feel her pulse. It's been more than 2 months, she announced. More than 2 months? The crowd was shocked. Auntie Miracle looked at Sylvia with a worried expression. Girl, the fetus isn't stable. You must avoid any strenuous activity and rest quietly. There are signs of a threatened miscarriage. I'll prescribe some herbs to protect the fetus. You go and get the medicine. As the doctor spoke with a compassionate look, Sylvia's face turned beet red and she ran away. Her mother started cursing. Quiet, you quack doctor! A low sigh came from the crowd. She's pregnant and still having an affair with a lover? She's really shameless. Everyone now looked at Sylvia's mother with disgust. Auntie Miracle was not happy. If you don't believe me, take her to the county hospital for an examination. We believe in Auntie Miracle's medical skills. He can't be wrong, everyone shouted, siding with the doctor. Someone in the crowd asked, "So who is Sylvia's lover?" I looked up at Vincent. I could see pure hatred in his eyes. "You should ask Sylvia about that," I said. An auntie sighed. "If it's a young man, that's one thing. But if it's an old man or someone else, that would be terrible. Sylvia is really bold, getting pregnant before marriage. I hope she wasn't deceived by some heartless man." Vincent couldn't stand it anymore and shouted, "Everyone go home! Gossiping behind people's backs is not what a gentleman does. Let's go. Everyone go home." The village chief had also come out and spoken. In the late 1980s, getting pregnant before marriage was a serious scandal that could ruin a person's reputation. Since my name was cleared, there was no reason for me to stay. Before I left, I looked at Adam. "Dress nicely tomorrow morning. We're going to the city to register our marriage." Hearing this, Vincent grabbed my hand again, his face furious. "You're crossing the line." I looked at Adam with a pleading expression. "Adam, help me. Let go of my fiancé." Adam grabbed Vincent's wrist, squeezing hard. Vincent cried out in pain. "You country bumpkin. You have quite a lot of strength." Adam worked on a farm every day. He was naturally strong. Vincent, who considered himself an educated man, never did manual labor. Adam, who usually seemed so gentle and honest, stood in front of me and pointed at Vincent, his voice firm and commanding. "Clara is my fiancée. Stay away from her." He was so imposing. I had never seen this side of him in my previous life. Vincent glared at Adam. "You're just a tool Clara is using to make me angry. Do you really think she likes you? That she'll marry you? In your dreams. Believe me, in 3 days, no 2 days at most, she'll come begging me to register with her." I spat in Vincent's face. "You're going too far. Get lost." He wiped his face, his expression turning to one of pure disgust as he realized what it was, and he stormed home. After he left, Adam smiled sheepishly. "Until you find the man you truly like, I can be your fiancé." I grabbed his hand, my voice serious. "I am serious. Will you marry me?" Adam gently pushed my hand away, lowering his head. "I'm just an orphan. You know what my family situation is like." I stared at him and asked again, "Will you marry me?" Adam looked up, and after a moment, he nodded. "I will." I joyfully threw myself into his arms. "We'll register tomorrow. We'll get married when my father comes back." Happiness had come so suddenly. I lay in his arms, and for a moment he stood frozen, before I pulled away and ran home to tell my mother the news. She was overjoyed. That Adam is a good boy. Although he's an orphan, I watched him grow up. He's honest. I like him. I smiled. I like him too. The next morning, we set off for the city to register our marriage. We spent the entire day there, buying a lot of things for the wedding. I also bought several new sets of clothes for Adam. We had dinner at my house that night. We had killed the old hen for soup and braised the rooster. With a couple of vegetarian dishes, it was quite a feast. My mother was already treating Adam like a son-in-law. "Adam, don't worry. Now that you've married our Clara, we won't treat you badly. Your parents passed away early, so you can think of me as your own mother. You're a hardworking boy. If you follow Clara's father, you'll surely do well." Adam, shy and overwhelmed, just kept nodding, not knowing what to say. After dinner, I walked him home. 3 days passed, and Vincent was still waiting for me to come to him with an apology. He finally came looking for me just as I was walking through the village giving out wedding candies. He ran over, a happy expression on his face, and pulled me aside. "I'm not angry anymore. I forgive you." I shook him off. "Whether you're angry or not has nothing to do with me," Vincent said with a cheeky smile. "I know you were trying to surprise me by secretly giving out wedding candies. Aren't you embarrassed that I found out?" I smiled bitterly. "Vincent, you're a Chinese teacher. Your imagination is certainly rich. What does me giving out wedding candies have to do with you? My husband is Adam." When Vincent heard this, he collapsed onto the ground. "Impossible! You love me the most. You can't live without me." Just then, Adam came over and gently took my hand. "Clara, it's hot out here. Let me give out the candies. You go back and rest." I smiled at him. "It's okay. I want to give out our wedding candies myself." Vincent sat on the ground and shouted, Impossible. You can only marry me. Adam is just an orphan. What right does he have to steal you from me?" We just ignored him. After giving out all the candies in that part of the village, we went to another, holding hands. Seeing us leave together, Vincent nearly went mad with rage and unwillingness. The prize that was almost his had flown away. That night, I was half asleep when I suddenly felt a hand touching me. I opened my eyes with a start. In the dim moonlight, I could make out a figure. Vincent, you're a beast. Do you know that what you're doing is illegal? I kicked him off the bed, scrambled to turn on the light, and grabbed a heavy flashlight from the nightstand. You're getting bolder. Even if you do this, there is no chance for us. He refused to give up, lunging at me desperately. After I sleep with you, let's see who will still want you. You'll just wait and beg me to marry you. Looking at his ferocious, twisted face, I only felt disgust. How could I have been so blind to his true colors in my past life? You're dreaming, I hissed, shining the flashlight directly into his eyes. He recoiled for a second, then laughed loudly. You were with me for 3 years and never let me touch you. I will definitely have you today. As he lunged at me again, I struggled desperately, but I couldn't break free. He was frantically trying to tear off my clothes. Just as I was filled with despair, he suddenly let go. I saw my mother standing over him, hitting him hard with a thick wooden stick. You brute! Even if my daughter never gets married for the rest of her life, she will not marry you. I quickly wrapped myself in the quilt as my mother reached out and patted me. Don't be afraid. Mom is here. It took Vincent a moment to recover. He staggered to his feet and started cursing my mother. It's all because of you. You kept speaking ill of me in front of Clara. That's what made her turn against me. Today I'll sleep with both of you. My mother didn't waste words. She just swung the stick at him again. He tried to resist, but he was no match for her fury. She beat him until he collapsed on the floor. Only then did she stop. Hiding in the quilt, I had managed to put my clothes back on. I got out of bed and took the stick from my mother's hand. You brute! You tried to take advantage of me. I'll beat you to death today. I didn't know how many times I hit him. All I heard was my mother's voice. Leave him alive. And then I stopped. When I saw Vincent lying motionless, I was shocked. Mom, is he dead? My mother smiled faintly. He still has a breath left. He won't die. If he really died, we'd just have to drag him to the back mountain and feed him to the wolves. Cough, you poisonous woman. Vincent made a weak sound from the floor. Mom, he's not dead. Should we give him a few more blows and send him to the back mountain? Otherwise, he'll just cause trouble for us in the future, I suggested. My mother and I looked at each other and smiled. Even if we didn't beat him to death, we would scare him half to death and let him know that we were not to be trifled with. Forget it. Let's spare his life this time. If he dares to bully you again, we can kill him then, my mother said, as casually as if she were talking about killing a chicken. You, poisonous woman. Vincent could only curse. He didn't have the words to express the rage and fear he felt. I squatted in front of him and smiled. Sylvia is pregnant with your child, and you still wanted to register with me. What did you take me for, a fool? Vincent denied it. I don't know whose child is in Sylvia's belly. Why do you assume it's mine? Don't you know who I am? I smiled and said, Sylvia told me herself. She even showed off in front of me, saying that you only love her. You were only going to marry me for my family's money. She also said you were going to take her to the city, raise the child for her, and let the child inherit the property of my family. My mother slapped him. You brute! You really had a good plan. In his heart, Vincent was secretly cursing Sylvia for being a fool, but he still denied it. Don't listen to that crazy woman. She's pregnant and couldn't find a man, so she just said it was mine. If you don't believe me, we can confront her. I stood up with a smile. Forget it. Anyway, I've already registered with Adam. I then showed him the marriage certificate. Open your dog eyes and take a good look. I'm already married to Adam. Vincent laughed when he saw our marriage certificate. It's fake. It must be fake. My mother lost her patience and shouted at me, give me a hand and throw him out the door. Amid Vincent's curses of, you poisonous women, you're all poisonous women, my mother and I dragged him outside. After closing the door, I didn't go back inside right away. Instead, I listened from behind the door. I was right. He hadn't come alone. Sylvia was crying. What happened? Didn't you succeed? Vincent's eyes blazed with anger when he saw her. You fool! Who told you to tell her that you're pregnant with my child? Sylvia looked aggrieved. I didn't. She wiped her tears and went to help him up. Vincent pushed her away. Get lost. I don't want to see you. Sylvia helped him up while crying. Vincent, let's go back and treat your wounds. They're really ruthless. After throwing a tantrum for a while, Vincent finally let Sylvia help him away. I didn't see Vincent for the next week. Sylvia was so pressured by the public opinion that she didn't dare to go out. Now the whole village was spreading the story that Sylvia was pregnant with Vincent's child, and in a fit of anger, I had married Adam. Everyone said that Adam was really lucky. He was an orphan, but after marrying me, he had everything. I told Adam what happened that night, and he pulled me into his arms. I'll stand guard outside your door from now on, he promised. I smiled. I've put a stick by my bedside. If he dares to come again, I'll beat him to death. In the following days, Adam really did stay outside my door every night. I was busy preparing for our wedding and didn't care to find out what was happening with Vincent and Sylvia. A month later, my father came back. When he saw that Adam, well-groomed by me, was a handsome and talented young man, my father readily agreed to the marriage. He took my hand and said, as long as Adam is a good man with your father here, you two can live a good life. I nestled happily in my father's arms. You're so kind, Dad. It was the same as in my previous life. Whatever I wanted, my father would agree to it unconditionally. My father pushed me away and laughed. Silly girl, you're my only daughter. If I'm not good to you, who else should I be good to? Your mother injured her body when she gave birth to you and couldn't have another child. My mother huffed. You can marry another woman to have a child for you. When my father saw that my mother was angry, he immediately ran over to coax her. Our wedding was set for the 6th day of the 8th lunar month. My mother had personally consulted someone to check our horoscopes and said it was an auspicious day. In a last-ditch effort, Vincent came to our house and knelt in front of my father, swearing, Uncle, I am absolutely sincere toward Clara, if I have any bad intentions towards her. Before he could finish, my father kicked him away. You scumbag! I haven't even gone to look for you, and you came to my door. My father stepped on his hand. You brute! For the sake of us being from the same village, I won't take your life. But if you dare to harass my daughter Clara again, I'll kill you. After that, he kicked Vincent again. My father was a rough man who used to be a bully in the village. After those 2 kicks, Vincent vomited blood. It took him a while to get up. He spat out a mouthful of blood and stared at me fiercely. You just wait. We didn't take his threat seriously. The wedding day came quickly. My father invited many friends and relatives. Everyone knew he had made a fortune in the South, and they all rushed to attend. My father was generous. He didn't collect any gift money, and everyone could eat and drink freely. The return gifts were also generous. Besides wedding candies, each guest received a bar of soap and a towel. Everyone was happy. Vincent stood in the distance, grinding his teeth in hatred. All of this should have belonged to him, but Adam had taken it. He turned on Sylvia, who was standing nearby. Who told you to say that bitch's lover was Adam? Now she's married him. How can I follow them into the city? With that, he started beating and kicking her. Sylvia hugged his leg, crying, Why do you have to go to the city? Clara's just rich. Your reputation as a teacher is better. Vincent got even angrier. What do you know? A good reputation doesn't mean having money. I want money. All you know is teaching. You'll never be able to leave this poor place. I hate teaching. You fool, you've ruined everything. Vincent stormed off to drown his sorrows in alcohol. In our bridal chamber, Adam stared at me intently. You're so beautiful. I lowered my head, suddenly shy. I didn't expect you to be so smooth with your words. Do you regret marrying me? He kept staring, the corners of his mouth turning up in a happy smile. Clara, do you know? I fell in love with you a long time ago. But I'm an orphan, and I was afraid I couldn't give you happiness, so I never dared to pursue you. I grabbed his hand. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Maybe I wouldn't have been deceived by Vincent for so long. Adam suddenly covered my mouth with his hand. Don't mention that person. It's unlucky. I nodded. It was unlucky. 3 days later, our family moved to the south. We didn't come back until the spring festival. It was then that I heard Vincent had been forced to marry Sylvia, but she had lost the baby. He had beaten her when he was drunk, kicking her in the belly, and the baby was gone before they could even get to the hospital. My parents and Adam were busy preparing for the spring festival. I was sitting alone in the yard, basking in the sun, when Sylvia came. She was wrapped in a scarf. I thought she was going to do something to me, so I quickly covered my belly and stepped back. She could hurt me, but not the baby in my belly. I was already 3 months pregnant. "What do you want, Sylvia?" She took off her scarf, revealing a disfigured face, covered in scars from knife cuts, whip marks, and fingernail scratches. "Did he do all this?" I asked, horrified. Sylvia smiled, a broken, empty smile. "He's not a human being, he's truly ruthless." I shook my head. "Since you're married, just try to live a good life." Sylvia suddenly knelt on the ground and grabbed my hands, pleading, "Take me to the city, okay? I heard I can find a job there. Take me with you. I can even be a nanny in your house." I tried to pull my hands back, but she held on tightly. "Please, Clara, if I stay with Vincent, he'll beat me to death." It had nothing to do with me. In my previous life, when Vincent pulled out my oxygen tube, she had stood there, looking at me with a provocative smirk. "Let go of me! Help!" I shouted. When Adam heard me, he rushed over, kicked Sylvia away, and then hugged me tightly. "Don't be afraid, Clara. I'm here." When Sylvia saw how gentle Adam was with me, she laughed wildly. "This is my retribution." "Get lost! Go away now!" Adam shouted. Then he nervously carried me into the house. Sylvia was so envious when she saw the scene. On New Year's Eve, Sylvia hanged herself. According to her mother, Vincent had become jealous seeing my father wearing a tiger skin coat and handing out cigarettes to everyone. He went home drunk and beat Sylvia again. The next morning, they found her hanging from a beam. When Vincent woke up and saw that she was dead, his heart filled with despair. He took a knife, cut his wrists, and lay down beside her. Sylvia's family hated Vincent so deeply that they refused to let them be buried together. After the spring festival on the 4th day of the new year, we went back to the south. I didn't want to ask too much about what happened in the village. At the end of June, Adam and I had our first child, a boy. My parents and Adam were overjoyed. My mother and 2 nannies took care of me and the baby. A year later, I gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. A year after that, I had triplets, 2 boys and a girl. We had so many children, we were fined a lot of money, but my father just said he wasn't afraid of having many children. As long as I was willing to give birth, he didn't care how much we were fined. In this life, I finally had my own children. Several years later, I was sitting in the yard basking in the sun and said to Adam with a smile, "I really can't believe that I now have such a big family, with so many children and grandchildren." Adam poured me a cup of tea. 4 sons, 2 daughters, 8 grandsons, and 2 granddaughters. With the sons-in-law and daughters-in-law, I can't even count how many people there are. You were really good at having children back then. I can't even match their names to their faces now. I smiled and said, "Yeah, every time they come back, there isn't enough room in the living room. We should change to a bigger villa soon." "Grandma, Grandpa, maternal grandma, we're here to wish you a happy new year," a chorus of young voices shouted. "Good, I'll go prepare the lucky money." Looking at the group of children, my eyes squinted into slits with a smile. I got up and walked towards the bedroom. I had already prepared the red envelopes. I never knew exactly how many children there were, so every year I prepared 100 red envelopes, and the remaining ones were given to the servants. I was lying on a hospital bed in a daze and heard others whispering. This centenarian really has a big family. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. There are over 100 of them in total. With a big, loving family surrounding me, I closed my eyes with a smile.